Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Apple report for Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. Before I jump into the charts like this one, please click like if you would each and every time you watch the daily Apple report. The more likes we get relative to views, the more our algorithms kick in and more people see the work that we're providing every day on Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. That includes the daily Tesla report. Also subscribe to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. You'll be provided notification each and every time new content has been uploaded. That includes the daily Tesla and Apple reports and a host of other uploads that we do throughout the month. If you would, please share the content with friends and colleagues. So we are closing in on the targeted zone of long-term support in the low 20s, 122.99. I have 120.74 as an intraday support level today. It may well contain daily selling pressures, may well contain selling through January. It is a long-term support level, but I'm also, if we close below 122.99, and I'll show that in a moment, if we close below that level today, we might see 116.48 by Friday's close, and I'll show that in a moment. But bottom line, we are closing in on this targeted zone of long-term support that is shown on the daily chart here. This is the same exact formation on the daily chart, 122.99, that you saw at 122, I think it was 89 on the weekly chart in the last slide, preceded by a respectable channel bottom in its own right, a 3-month channel bottom today at 124.65 that we slipped below yesterday. We are in the zone, the bottom picking zone, or the short liquidation zone. If you've been short now since the 140s, which we've been suggesting since the October-November highs, because we were testing a long-term speed line at the time in the upper 140s at that point, anticipating the low 120s as a by the end of January objective. We are reaching it now almost by the end of December. And here we are. This is an area that can contain selling longer term, not just through January, but through the first quarter, possibly into later year. With respect to this long-term support region, we can turn higher, into the 160s, 170s, the channel top over the next 3 to 5 months. I'm kind of asking that as a question, but I think that is in the realm of possibility. You might even say probability by the end of the year. This is a significant zone of long-term support. Now, where do we see recovery? That would come with a settlement today above this 130.38 2-week descending channel top. I have as a 2-star resistance, meaning it could contain buying through the rest of the week. If we tested today, we could fall back within a day or two back into the 122.99 to 124.65 area. On the way up, we have minor points, 127.43, the most notable, able to contain intraday buying pressures, and if pushed or opened above 130.38 is likely today. Once again, 130.38, a 2-star resistance, able to contain 2 to 3 day highs when tested, and if settled above, and just know I'm expecting that here sooner than later, following the test of long-term support. This market hasn't shown upside recovery yet, but its first sign of aggressive gains as we move into next week would be a settlement today above 130.38. So day traders can bottom pick the 122.99 to 124.65 area and sell 130.38 all day long. Swing traders are buying 122.99 to 124.65, perhaps exiting at 130.38 and going short for a day or two. But swing traders are also climbing on board on the buy side with a settlement above 130.38. I'm expecting 135.76 then tomorrow, and over the next week or two, I'm going to say by the end of next week, our new long-term resistance, which is now at 143.58. So if we settle today above this 130.38 channel top, after having essentially tested long-term support in the low 120s, I think by the end of next week, 143.58 wouldn't surprise me, where we could top out into later January and fall off again back into low 20s perhaps over the following 3 to 5 weeks. 143.58 is the start of a range up to 149.29, not shown today. I'm not committing to long-term resistance levels really until I see what the low is, until say we actually close above 130.38, and then we'll show the channel tops and stuff coming down at 149.29. But right now we'll just call it the 140s. Significant midterm resistance, able to contain buying into February, and have settled above signals that 170s that I alluded to here at the top of the video. Now let's talk downside today. Of course, this market remains heavy, and if we break below this 122.99 channel bottom today, 120.74 is in close reach, this long-term 2/3 speed line. But if we close today, and that might be it for the day perhaps, but if we close today below 122.99, I see the possibility of 116.48 by Friday's close. This is a channel bottom that stems off the August high, December high. The intermediate low is the October low. And I think if we close today below 122.99, then yes, by Friday's close, we could test 116.48. And if we settled the week itself, and this is something that I'm pointing to now, and I'll go back to the weekly chart here, if we settled the week below this area, below the 120s, I think that there's a good case to be made that possibly by the end of February, we fall to 102.73. That is a 5/8 downside Fibonacci from the March 2020 COVID low against that January all-time high. And, as we continue into later year, I wouldn't be surprised to see a complete, what is the word? Collapse into the lower 70s. But, as I think I said in yesterday's video, I would prefer to call it stair step at that point. If we close below 120.74, our first and maybe only target is 102.73. And then if we close below 102.73, our next target and probably only target is 73.87. But I will say that if we close below the low 120s, 120.74 on Friday, you could consider the low 70s as a possible long-term objective. And so I see no good reason to be long Apple as a stock, as an investor through Q1 and perhaps even into later year if we settle the week out below 120.74. Until then, this is your bottom picking zone. This is the area ripe for long-term investors, not just day traders, not just swing traders playing out into later June, but also long-term investors who are looking ahead to Q2, Q3, Q4 of 23. I think that pretty much rounds it out. Please click like if you would. I'll be back again, of course, tomorrow with Thursday's Daily Apple Report. You have a great day.